Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we will dive into the massive, explosive spoilers for the next 2 weeks of The Bold and the Beautiful. From April 20 to May 1, where family secrets are weaponized, a mysterious phone call changes everything, and Ivy Forrester finally faces the music. Let's be real for a second, we have all been waiting for this moment. For weeks, we have watched Ivy Forrester spin a web of deceit, so toxic and so manipulative that it would make the legendary Stephanie Forrester proud. But the House of Cards is finally coming crashing down, and the fallout is going to be absolutely spectacular. The spoilers for the week of April 20 to April 24 reveal that Ivy Forrester is finally going to come clean about her diabolical plot to drive Elektra Forrester and Will Spencer apart. But here's the kicker, and you won't believe what happens next. She is not sorry, not even a little bit. When Daphne Rose Walton finally breaks her silence and shatters Elektra's reality by exposing the stolen letter and the discarded necklace, Elektra is going to be horrified. Can you imagine the profound betrayal she is feeling? Elektra trusted her aunt. They were building a jewelry line together. They were family. And Ivy looked her dead in the eye, day after day, while actively destroying her niece's happiness. When Elektra unleashes her righteous anger on Ivy, demanding answers and expecting a tearful apology, Ivy does the exact opposite. Ivy coldly and unapologetically justifies her actions. She looks at Elektra and basically says she did what she had to do to protect her from a Spencer. Ivy admits to the scheming and terrifyingly states that she would do it all over again. I am absolutely floored by this level of sociopathy. I think this action is so incredibly wrong, not just because it is manipulative, but because it strips Elektra of her own agency. Ivy is playing God with her niece's life. Many fans think Ivy is just being a protective aunt, but I think she is projecting her own past failures and insecurities onto Elektra. Ivy has always had a complex about the Spencers and the Logans, and she is using Elektra as a pawn in her own twisted vendetta. This unapologetic betrayal is going to leave Elektra questioning her entire relationship with her aunt. How can you ever trust someone who admits they would ruin your life again if they felt it was for your own good? And that brings us to the absolute best part of these upcoming episodes. The showdown between Will Spencer and RJ Forrester. The tension between these two has been building for weeks, fueled by RJ's arrogant entitlement and Will's simmering frustration. They have already gotten into a physical shoving match in the Forrester Creation showroom, but the psychological warfare is about to reach a nuclear level. RJ has been relentlessly slamming Will, calling him a sleazy, greedy Spencer, and acting like he is the supreme protector of the Forrester legacy. RJ walks around that building acting like he's royalty, looking down his nose at Will simply because of his last name. But Will is a Spencer, and Spencers do not go down without a fight. Backed into a corner by RJ's relentless insults, Will is going to unleash a devastating psychological attack by weaponizing the absolute truth. Will is going to look RJ dead in the eye and point out that RJ is not even a real Forrester. He is going to remind RJ that he is actually a Marone. Boom, that is crazy. I literally cheered when I read this spoiler. It is about time someone knocked RJ off his high horse. For the newer viewers who might not know the deep dark history of The Bold and the Beautiful, let me take you back to a massive storyline from the early 2000s. Ridge Forrester, RJ's father, grew up believing he was the biological son of Eric Forrester, but in a massive plot twist, it was revealed that Ridge's mother, Stephanie, had an affair with the ruthless shipping magnate Massimo Marone. Ridge is a Marone by blood. Eric is not his biological father. Therefore, biologically speaking, RJ is a Maroni and a Logan. He has zero Forrester blood in his veins. Will using this to destroy RJ's argument is an absolute masterstroke. Will is essentially saying, you sit here and judge me for being a Spencer, but your entire identity is built on a lie. You are parading around the Forrester family business, claiming the Forrester legacy when your biological grandfather is Massimo Marone. It is the ultimate reality check, and I think it is completely justified. RJ has been incredibly toxic, using his family name to try and claim Elektra, like she is some sort of prize to be won. Will dropping the Marone bomb exposes the deep generational trauma of Ridge's true parentage and completely invalidates RJ's arrogant stance. I cannot wait to see the look on RJ's face when Will delivers this devastating blow. But the drama for Will does not stop there. The spoilers reveal that Will is finally going to get the news about the stolen letter and everything else Ivy has done to manipulate the situation. Can you imagine the wave of emotions that's going to hit Will? For weeks he thought Elektra abandoned him. He thought she did not care enough to leave a letter, and he thought she carelessly threw away the WE necklace he cherished. He has been carrying this heavy burden of rejection, which pushed him closer to Melissa Dillon and almost caused him to give up on his true love entirely. When Will finds out that Ivy stole that letter and orchestrated the entire breakup, his wrath is going to be biblical. We are going to see the true Bill Spencer temper come out in his son. Will is going to face off with Ivy, and he is not going to hold back. He is going to unleash his fury on her for playing games with his heart and Electra's heart. But even in the face of Will's explosive anger, Ivy is still not going to be sorry. She will stand her ground, stubbornly insisting that pushing Electra toward RJ was the right move for her future. Ivy is completely delusional at this point. She has convinced herself that she is the hero of this story, when in reality, she is the villain who has caused unnecessary pain and heartbreak for everyone involved. I firmly believe that Ivy's refusal to apologize is going to be her ultimate undoing. You can only play the elitist card for so long before people realize you are just a bitter, manipulative person. Will is going to see right through her justifications, and I hope he makes it his mission to ensure Ivy pays for what she has done. The contrast between RJ's toxic entitlement and Will's genuine, albeit volatile, love for Electra is going to be front and center. Will is fighting for the truth, while RJ and Ivy have been fighting to maintain a lie. Meanwhile, while the younger generation is tearing each other apart over stolen letters and biological bloodlines, the older generation is busy setting the fashion world on fire. Bill Spencer and Katie Logan Spencer are going to host another massive fashion event. The spoilers say we should look for some Logan models to strut the runway, showcasing the brilliant designs of the legendary Eric Forrester. Katie and Bill are going to pose for pictures, beaming in front of the press, and answering questions about their booming new fashion house. I have to say, I am absolutely loving this era of Katie Logan. For years, she has lived in the shadow of her sister Brooke. She has been the quiet one, the sick one, the one who always had to compromise, but not anymore. Katie is stepping into her power, and with Bill Spencer by her side, she is an unstoppable force. I think Katie's decision to use the name Logan for her fashion house is a brilliant business move, even if it is driving Brooke absolutely insane. Brooke feels entitled to the Logan name, but Katie is proving that she has just as much right to build a legacy. And let's talk about the use of Eric Forrester's designs. This is the ultimate power move. Katie and Bill are actively riling up the Forresters by showcasing Eric's work under the Logan banner. It is a massive middle finger to Ridge and the rest of the Forrester establishment who think they hold a monopoly on high fashion in Los Angeles. Bill is clearly enjoying this. His legendary feud with Ridge Forrester is well documented, and any chance Bill gets to stick it to the dressmaker, he is going to take it. Standing proudly beside Katie, beaming for the cameras, Bill is showing the world that the Spencers and the Logans are a dominant force. I know some fans think Katie's being petty by using Eric's designs, but I completely disagree. Eric gave her those designs. He wanted her to have them. Katie's honoring his legacy while building her own. The fact that it makes Brooke and Ridge furious is just the cherry on top. I'm totally here for this soaring sister feud. Brooke needs to realize that the world does not revolve around her, and Katie is the perfect person to teach her that lesson. The fashion show is going to be a spectacular success, and it is going to cement Logan as a serious rival to Forrester Creations. Now let's shift gears and talk about a storyline that is shrouded in mystery and has me completely on the edge of my seat. Melissa Dillon. Dillon has been through the emotional ringer lately. She moved out of Will's beach house, making the heartbreaking, sacrificial decision to choose friendship over romance because she felt guilty about the situation with Electra. She is trying to start fresh, focusing on her new career at Forrester Creations. But the past has a funny way of catching up with you in the soap opera world. According to the spoilers, Dillon is going to receive a mysterious and highly unsettling phone call while she's in the design office. A disguised voice on the other end of the line is going to tell her, "It's me. We have some unfinished business." Dillon is going to be left completely on edge, visibly shaken by the interaction. The person on the phone may even push for a meeting to settle this mysterious business. So who's behind the voice changer? What is this unfinished business? The internet is buzzing with theories. Some fans initially speculated that it could be a supposedly dead Luna Nozawa messing with Dillon, but I think that is a massive red herring. The Bold and the Beautiful writers love to throw us off the scent. The spoilers for the week of April 27 to May, one heavily suggests that the caller is none other than Remy Price. We have known for a while that Remy Price has a mysterious connection to someone currently on the canvas, and it looks like Dillon is that connection. Remy is exactly the type of character who would use a voice changer to play a twisted joke or to intimidate someone. But what is their exact relationship? The spoilers hint that Remy could be Dillon's half-brother or perhaps another close relative. A deep family connection seems to be the direction this storyline is headed, and I am incredibly intrigued. If Remy is indeed Dillon's brother, it opens up a whole new world of dramatic possibilities. Why is he contacting her now? What kind of trouble is he bringing to Los Angeles? The spoilers also drop a massive hint involving Deacon Sharp. It says that Deke Sharp will be taken aback if he finds out his former flame and new friend are related. Wait a minute. Is Remy hoping that Dylan can put in a good word for her with Deke and push him toward a romantic reunion? This is a wild twist. Deacon is currently wrapped up in his public romance with Taylor Hayes, completely oblivious to the fact that his ex-wife Sheila Carter is lurking in the shadows plotting psychological warfare. If Remy comes into the picture trying to push a romantic reunion with a former flame involving Dylan's family, Deacon's life is about to get infinitely more complicated. I think Dylan is going to be torn. She is a genuinely good person who tends to martyrize herself for others, as we saw with her moving out of Will's house. If her family member is pressuring her to manipulate Deacon or get involved in some shady business, Dylan is going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. I personally love the trope of the secret sibling showing up to wreak havoc. It adds so much depth to Dylan's character. Up until now, she has mostly been a supporting player in the Will and Elektra drama. Given her a complex family backstory with a potentially dangerous relative like Remy Price is exactly what she needs to step into the spotlight. I predict that Remy is going to show up in Los Angeles, demand a meeting with Dylan, and force her to keep a massive secret that will threaten her new job at Forrester Creations and her friendship with Will. Finally, let's circle back to the fallout of Ivy's confession. Elektra is not just going to sit back and cry over her aunt's betrayal. Elektra is empowered, she is enraged, and she wants justice. The spoilers reveal that Elektra may push Steffi Forrester and Ridge Forrester to boot Ivy out of the company for all the scheming she has been doing. And honestly, Elektra is 100% right to do so. Let's look at the facts. Ivy has been using company time and company resources to orchestrate her niece's breakup. She has been playing matchmaker with RJ, causing immense tension and physical fights in the Forrester Creation showroom. You could easily argue that Ivy has been slacking on the job, creating a hostile work environment, and betraying a Forrester family member. Will Ridge and Steffi be tempted to fire her? I think they should fire her immediately. Ridge was just lecturing RJ about keeping personal feelings out of the office, hypocritically claiming that Forrester Creations is a fashion house, not a boxing ring. If Ridge wants to practice what he preaches, he needs to hold Ivy accountable for bringing all of this toxic personal drama into the workplace. Steffi, who is already in a paranoid panic over Sheila Carter, does not need Ivy causing internal chaos within the company ranks. However, this is Forrester Creations, where nepotism reigns supreme. Firing a family member is never a simple process. Ivy is going to fight tooth and nail to keep her position. She will likely argue that her personal actions outside of work, or even inside the building, do not negate her talent as a jewelry designer. But Elektra holds a lot of power here. She and Ivy share the jewelry line. If Elektra threatens to walk away and take her designs with her, Steffi and Ridge might be forced to choose between the betrayed niece and the manipulative aunt. I am rooting for Elektra to completely disown Ivy and dissolve their professional partnership. Ivy needs to face real tangible consequences for her sociopathic behavior. Losing her job and her relationship with her niece is the only way she might ever learn a lesson. Though given her unrepentant attitude, I highly doubt she will ever truly change. These next 2 weeks are going to be a roller coaster of emotional confrontations, harsh reality checks, and shocking family secrets. From Will destroying RJ's Forrester ego with the Marone truth, to Katie and Bill dominating the fashion world, to Dylan's terrifying phone call, the stakes have never been higher. I cannot wait to see how Will reacts when he finally looks Ivy in the eye, knowing exactly what she did. And I am dying to know what Remy Price's unfinished business really is. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below. Do you think Will was right to bring up the Marone secret? Should Steffi fire Ivy? And who do you think is really on the other end of Dylan's phone? Let's discuss